Hey, what's good? What's going on? Another episode of the NoVexPodcast is back.
Yep.
It's here. Nowhere else but here. You understand?
Right here.
So again, let me greet us. Welcome to our home.
Welcome.
Like, this is a safe space for you lot.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So again, I'm Chidi, and I'm here with Lovely.
Auntie Faith.
You know what I'm saying? And it's good to be back, man.
Yes.
It's good to be back. Another day, another dollar.
Yes.
And it's good to be back. And I'm gonna dive right into it because I'm actually pissed off.
What?
So I'm pissed off right now.
What happened?
Because honestly, we need to stop. Faith, man. Faith, What's the name of this podcast?
It's all about religion.
I know, but what's the name of this podcast?
NoVex.
Okay, so I need to know Vex because right now I'm Vex.
Okay.
So, we're gonna dive right into religion, and religion is a huge part of our culture, if you want to say it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Me personally, I grew up. Let me talk on personal experience first. I grew up going to a Catholic church.
Okay.
Hence emphasize the term "grew up" because I no longer go to that Catholic church.
Mm-hmm.
And I just think, religion is great. You know what I'm saying? I believe in the people above, that are guiding us and watching us at every move. I'm filled with gratitude. I love life. I'm very grateful.
That's good.
But at the end of the day, I feel like Nigerians, sometimes we're so blinded by religion, especially in bloody Nigeria. The country's burning down on us day by day. And what do people say? Hey, well, I will pray to God, though. Everything will be okay.
Not the accent.
And nothing's okay. And everything's terrible. Everything's worse than it ever is in Nigeria.
Yeah.
And guess what? Guess how it's going to be solved? Prayers, right? I'm sorry, but guess what? Here's a newsflash. It's not. So, dude, I'm just like, dude, it's not. It's not going to. Sorry about that, bro.
So if you guys haven't already figured it out, today we're talking about religion and how it's such a hot topic in the Nigerian community, right?
Fucking hell.
And we wanted to have a conversation on what we felt regarding religion and how there's such a big emphasis on religion in this community of ours.
Right.
And going off of what you said about prayer fixing the country. I think that's such a big theme because, especially in Nigeria, we know there's I would say two main religions.
Right. What is it?
Christianity and Islam.
Yeah. No, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Literally, yeah.
I feel like it's 50%, it's half and half.
It is.
Honestly.
It definitely is. Yep.
So half of us are Christians, half of us are Muslims, but we all coexist really well, honestly.
Right. Luckily, it's not like anywhere else where people are killing people over their religion.
Right.
For the most part.
The Muslims be celebrating Christmas.
Yeah. That's crazy.
The Christians be celebrating Ramadan. We together all day, every day, right? But then as well, because religion is such a big part of our culture and because it's part of who we are, all of our decisions are based off of religion. Everything we do in Nigeria is all about religion. I understand. Put God first. My name is Faith. I'm the first person to say I put God first in everything. Ain't no way. Right. Religion is a big part of my life. I grew up in a Christian household. I went to church 2-3 times a week. I still go to church, honestly, because religion is a big part of who I am. But is religion the answer to every situation?
No.
That's the question we need to answer.
Me personally, let me answer first. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think it is. I think that, quite honestly, religion is very, very, very it's negatively it's very negative. Religion.
Negative.
Okay, let me clarify.
Explain.
Let me articulate what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Religion, especially in our culture, is negative. Here's why.
Okay.
When people were, thousands of years ago, right, before Christ or whatever you want to call it, where was this? Where were the different religions? Where was Catholicism? Where was Muslim? Where was Buddhist? Where was where was that? Where was all of this? Right? There was just one God. But now, guess why religion is brought into the case? It's just to be divisive. It's to stray people away from what's really important and just focusing on one thing, which is life. But now it's hey, bro, you can kill a couple people and you can go X, Y, and Z. Oh, but no, but I can't do this because I'm this. But it's okay, but you guys, quote unquote, believe in the same God, right? It's just so so distracting. It's very frustrating, honestly. And and then guess what? It boils down to Nigeria, our country, and then people are just the country again is burning down in front of our face, and people just think everything's gonna be solved by prayers. I go on Facebook, you see you see like Lagos literally underwater, and people are like, "Oh, like this for one prayer, oh God will come and save. God will come and save us." He's not. Like he's not gonna save you. God's not gonna save Nigeria until Nigeria wants to save itself. So I mean, you know, if people
You know
want
what? There's
bro.
a famous
Damn,
Bible
so
quote.
annoying.
I'm gonna paraphrase it. It's like faith. Oh, works without faith is dead.
Exactly. No, bruh, my mom says that all the
Or
time.
faith without works is dead. One
Yeah,
of those.
yeah.
Either way, even if you have the faith with you, like yes, we believe in God, but it's like you gotta do the work.
You're not doing any work.
God cannot just bring you up, or He cannot just fix things for you without you meeting Him at least halfway and doing the work.
Not doing any work.
Because He's gonna be like, well, you're not willing to do anything.
Yeah, exactly.
So like when we think about our country, Nigeria, and we think about what's going on politically, what's going on socially, with people who are just hungry, people are in so much debt, people are just not living the way they should be living, especially as a country with all of those resources. Like we are blessed in Nigeria. The people that come out of Nigeria, when we come to the diaspora, the way they're like, oh, Nigerians are so smart. Nigerians are taking over. Da, 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 blah, blah. But it's like because God has given us so much in that country.
Right.
But why are we still living like that?
That's the great question.
And it's like people pray Nigeria.
Bro, no,
When
people pray.
They don't party, they pray.
Like prayer warriors
As
literally
in
originated from Nigeria. No, literally, dude. Like
night vigils every day, not even just Friday at the last Friday of the month. Every single day, night vigil. People are praying. There's so many different churches, so many different mosques, so many different places. You at every corner in Nigeria, you can find a religious setting. For you to go and pray. But why is God not taking our country out of poverty?
You know what's funny? My funny story. I want to touch on that, right?
Yeah.
So my auntie, right? I think it was literally just about 2 weeks ago. It was Sunday, and she was like, she's like, how was church today? I was like, oh, auntie, I didn't go to church, but, I just prayed at the house, you know what I'm saying? I listened to some gospel music, and that was that. And she just, like, tried to go on this huge, long lecture of, like, oh, you need to go to church, you need to go to church. I'm like, cool, like, I understand what you're saying, but, like, you can still kind of have the same effect. I mean, like, yeah, bro, like, you don't have to go to church in order to, you know what I'm saying? That's just me, like, if you go to church, kudos to you, but, I mean...
I do see why for some people, church is not for them, because I feel like there's so much negativity around the church itself, with the way like they treat others within the church. But I also see why church is important, because church is a place for you to come and meet God.
True.
Like Fair enough. God is gonna be there every time. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like that's God's home right there. So whenever you're seeking for God, I gotta go to church.
Yeah.
So whenever I go to church, I feel like, oh, this is me coming to meet my Father. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then I understand why it's not a comfortable setting for everyone, just because of the negative connotations around church. And it's not even around church people. Let's say that.
I mean, dude.
Because it's not the church itself.
Dude, I don't know if you saw that one Nigerian pastor that's like $150 million.
In London.
Yes, and he's driving all these cars and he has all these parties.
I saw TikTok about somebody saying, this man cannot be an actual pastor.
Like, I'm just like, dog, come on
Because if you were, why are you, like, that's not what pastors or people who were ministers of God, like, that's not what they did even in the Bible.
Right.
You're listening to, nothing wrong with secular music, but, like, you're in the church and they're playing secular music as if it's gospel music.
Right.
And again, nothing is wrong with secular music, but like...
But explain for the people who don't know what secular music is.
So like secular music is like, for me, the way I think of it is music that's outside of, I guess, religious music.
Okay.
So it's like any other type of genre.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would consider secular music, but there might be another definition for it outside. But like, they will be playing Davido in that church. And y'all know what church I'm talking about in the UK.
LOL. Nah, Davido in church is crazy.
Davido in church is crazy, because what Davido song are you actually playing in church?
Money fall on you.
As in church. Right. It don't make no sense. But like, that's why I say church people, not the church itself. It's the people in the church.
But it's like anything. Like, it's always the people. Like, it's the people in the country that make the country bad. It's the people in the church that make the church bad. You know what I mean? So, I mean, what do you do, bro? Like that's the issue. It's like now, even with all these problems that's happening with Nigeria, it's like, yeah, we're very religious, but again, why is God still not blessing us? Man. What is the issue? Like that problem, that issue, that question's always been on my mind, because I'm always thinking about it like, damn, if you think about a country that prays, first in mind, Nigeria. Right. People pray all day, every day. But what are we doing wrong? Yeah. And it always boils down to what I said before. Faith without works is dead. Yeah. That's deep. That's true.
What work are we actually doing in Nigeria? Even with the politics that happened and with the election, we were supposed to vote. What happened? They had people that were fighting others.
Oh my God.
There was rigging left and right, all those different things.
Yeah.
And it's like, what can the people who are at the bottom barrel, what can they do?
Man, honestly, it's sad, but there's not much.
There's not much that they can do.
Yeah, between a rock and a hard place. Exactly. Man.
That's something that they can control. They're praying that, God, take me out of this environment. Take me out of this country.
Like, people are literally praying for visas to leave Nigeria.
To leave their home country.
To leave. How just sad is that? Like, again, you know, and I know some people will be like, oh, yeah, but you're not here. You're in America, and you're saying this.
Yeah,
but I'm like,
and I know, I acknowledge that we're not there. We're privileged to be here and to just be able to talk about it, but that doesn't mean we don't empathize with y'all.
Very true. Exactly.
It doesn't mean I don't have cousins back home or dealing with it. I don't have family who's dealing with it, and I can't empathize with them.
No, literally. Yeah.
But what is it that I can do from here?
Exactly. You know, if there's anything, I mean...
Because even the people there, what they're doing is praying.
Oh, man. If they're even praying, Sha.
They are, though.
Yeah, they are.
And what they're doing is praying.
And yeah, man, we're praying for them as well. Honestly, we're praying for them as well. But, you know, what is it? Okay, I love that. Faith without works is dead. Death or dead?
It's dead.
Dead. Okay, let's say it again. You ready?
Faith without works is dead. Exactly.
Finito. Like, dude, what? Yeah.
And that applies to everything in life.
Anything.
Because you can have faith. Oh, I'm gonna go into the school. I'm gonna graduate. But
if
you
you're
gotta work hard for it. You gotta study. God is not gonna be like, okay, all the answers in your brain.
Exactly.
You got this.
No,
because there are times where I pray, God, just tell me, is it all A's, please, so I can know what to put there. But it doesn't work out that way. Like, God is like, girl, you got to do the work. You have to study. If you don't study, you can't expect a miracle to drop from heaven.
Simple. I'll let it. Man, it's crazy.
Religion is a topic in Nigeria that needs to be talked about. We need to talk about why religion is such a big deal. I love religion, but I don't think religion is the answer to every situation.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not the fix-all Band-Aid.
Yeah. It can assist.
Yeah, but
you also have to do the work.
Yeah, the fact that Nigerians, that we've been so reliant on it for like years. Yeah. It's very toxic, and it's gotten us in a deeper hole, honestly, because we're not doing anything tangibly or physically. We're just praying. Or we're like, okay, let me pray and get on my phone, instead of like going out there and actually trying to fix the road.
They even had people during COVID, right, that were like, oh, I'm not going to get COVID. I'm just going to pray.
Oh, my God, bro. Almost.
But you still got COVID.
Right. And a lot of people in Nigeria, and a lot of people in Nigeria passed away from COVID.
But it's like God is thinking up there like, well, you should have worn a mask. Yeah. That's the work part of it.
Exactly.
Prevention.
Exactly. Man, yeah.
You can't just be walking around without a mask saying, I'm not going to get COVID. You're going to get it. Like, that's just how it is.
That's just reality.
And then it comes to the question of science, you know? So speaking on religion and how we see people in Nigeria, like, really going to church every day or going to the mosque every day and trying to be religious, do you think that's still happening with people in our generation now?
Honestly, and I say honestly because
you're going to be honest.
I'm going to be honest.
You're going to be honest.
No. Like, I mean, even me, firsthand, like from a firsthand point of view, like, no, I stopped going to church. Like, that doesn't mean that I don't believe in God, but it's just kind of like...
Why did you stop going to church?
Well, unfortunately, you know, I do my own research on, like, you know, the Catholic Church and just kind of what I just don't... kind of what the Catholic Church believed in, and you know, a lot of the molestation that was within the Catholic Church and what they believed in. That's just not me. Okay. You know, I just feel like I don't need to go to church to really validate why,
like relationship with God.
Exactly. Like, I'm like, dude, I can pray. I pray every day. Yeah. It is what it is. Like, I pray every day.
Yeah.
And, you know, like, I know a lot of Nigerian elders in previous generations feel like, oh, okay, no, you must go to church. You must do this. You must do that. You must go to church and pray for forgiveness. I'm like, I mean, yeah, I get what you're trying to say, but like, no, I don't need to. I don't want to. No, I can just pray in my house. Like, let me talk to the ones above at my house. That's just me.
Yeah.
What do you
know what's crazy? Like, I've heard this from so many people our age, talking about, oh yeah, I have a relationship with God, so I don't really need to go to church to have that relationship.
And I'm not knocking anybody that goes to church.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. It depends on what works for you. And I think that's the divide that we see with the newer generations versus the old generations. Like, now we're not. Well, I'm not gonna say because I still go to church every day, but that's just because
Oh,
again,
good
that's the
job.
way I. That's
Yeah.
the way my
Yeah.
religion, my relationship with is God. But I feel like a lot of people in the newer generations, like I don't need to be physically at church to have a relationship with God. Whereas in the old generation, it's more so I have to be at church every day. I have to be there. I wake up. I go to church. I go to sleep. I'm going to church. Everything is church, 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 like physically. But it's like the amount of time you're at church. Does that show how good your heart is?
Exactly, because I mean, I don't know about you, but I know some of the worst people ever, and they go to church almost every day, every Sunday, and some of them are damn pastors, literally.
Speak
So,
on it.
you know what I mean? It's like, dude, just because you go to church does not mean you're a great person. Just because you don't go to church doesn't mean that you're not a great person. You know what I mean? So,
Exactly.
I'm just like,
Exactly.
people in Nigeria connect religion too much. It's not synonymous with everything. That's
It's what works for you.
exactly, yeah.
And please, I'm not saying people should not go to church because I do it. So you should if it works for you. If you feel like that's where you need to go to be able to create that relationship with God or maintain that relationship with God. I
Right.
think that's what church does for me. It helps me maintain my relationship with God. And also, I sing at church. So that's my passion.
You sing?
I do.
Oh, okay, nice. Let's hear some.
No, not now.
Come on now.
Nah,
Let's hear something.
No.
Oh,
Next
brother.
episode, you have to come back.
I bet.
Maybe even next season for that.
I bet.
But like, yeah, I sing at church, so that's where I find my relationship with God.
That's
you know?
great. That's beautiful.
So it's like that's different from person to person. Like
Yeah.
you said, you don't need to be physically at church to be able to have that relationship.
Right.
I think it's just good to know what works for you. Don't feel pressured to going to church physically because some people will go to church and be on their phone the entire day. So why did you come?
Man, sheesh. Tell us how
No,
it is.
literally, like
man.
the people would be in the back, like, so why did you come?
Yeah. Just to
You
post,
could have just been at home. It would have been the exact same thing.
to post it on their story. I don't know, man. It's validation.
Not even to post on
yeah.
a story, to just show face. I'm
Yeah.
at church.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you're actually at. You could be
Yeah.
at church physically, but not
Man,
spiritually.
that
Let me
means-
not preach for y'all
man.
today.
Man.
Let me not preach for y'all today. But you know what I mean? So find what works best for you and create that relationship with God. I think that's what really matters. That relationship with God, and then even with that relationship, that faith that you have, bringing in the actual works. You also have to have an active part in that relationship for you to get the results you want to get out of it.
Amen.
Point blank.
Amen.
Period.
Amen. Literally. Amen.
Amen. But we want to hear more about you guys' thoughts on today's episode, on your thoughts on religion and how religion is such a big impact on Nigeria itself, the country, the culture, the people. So comment down below what your thoughts are. And also, please don't forget to follow us on our social media platforms, NoVexPodcast, Naija Nation, all of the aboves, mine and Chidi's individual Instagrams.
Yes,
and
yes.
don't forget to watch the episode on YouTube and listen to it on Apple Music, Spotify, and all the other platforms. We can't wait to see you in the next episode.
I'm not even going to say anything. She said it all.
No Vex!